Hey friends, so we've talked about vortex math and sacred geometry, and I mentioned the Fibonacci sequence. So I'm going to explain what the Fibonacci sequence is and then how it correlates with sacred geometry. I always find it's easiest to explain things like we're children, right? Keep it simple. So that's what I'm going to do. So imagine you're building a tower with blocks, and you have a magic rule for how it grows. That is exactly what the Fibonacci sequence is. It's a magic math rule found in nature. So the Fibonacci sequence is a list of numbers that start with 0 and 1, and to get the next number, you just add the last two numbers together. So 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 5 plus 3 is 8, and it just keeps going on forever and ever. So the sequence is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, so on and so forth. So what does this look like in nature? Well, count the petals on flowers, right? Often it's a Fibonacci number. So lilies have 3 petals typically, buttercups have 5, daisies often have 34 or 55. The spirals on pine cones almost always add up to a Fibonacci number. Sunflowers, the seeds in the middle, spiral out in a Fibonacci sequence. And then there's something called the golden ratio, and how that relates to the Fibonacci sequences. If you take two numbers in the Fibonacci sequence that are next to each other, like 5 and 8, or 13 and 21, and you divide the bigger one by the smaller number, you get a special number called the golden ratio. So 8 divided by 5 equals 1.6, 13 divided by 8 equals 1.625, 21 divided by 13 equals 1.615. And as the numbers get bigger, the answers get closer and closer to 1.618, which is often called the most beautiful number because it makes shapes that look perfectly balanced to our eyes. And this correlates to the golden spiral. So if you draw squares using these numbers, like a 1 by 1 box, 2 by 2 box, 3 box, 5 by 5 box, and you connect their corners, you get a beautiful spiral called the golden spiral, which looks like a seashell. And this ties back into sacred geometry because, again, sacred geometry is a term for special shapes and patterns found in nature that look like they were designed with careful thought. The Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio are like the blueprint of creation. They create harmony and balance. Just as music uses notes to sound good, sacred geometry uses the golden ratio to create shapes that look right, such as in pentagons and stars. The spiral of life, the golden spiral, shows up everywhere in the shape of hurricanes, the way plants grow to get the most sunlight, and even the arms of spirals, galaxies in space, growth pattern. It shows how nature grows efficiently, placing seeds or leaves so they don't cover each other, which helps them grow better. So it creates efficient space, right? Everything's packed tight, but it's packed efficiently. So to sum this up, the Fibonacci sequence is nature's way of building, and the golden ratio is the perfect, beautiful shape that nature is trying to make. And the golden ratio acts as like the cornerstone in sacred geometry. It symbolizes divine harmony, balancing nature and architecture. And it's often called pi, the divine proportion, or nature's secret code. The golden ratio even shows up in the human body, not exclusively, but frequently. In proportions. Biological efficiency is considered the most efficient pattern for growth, minimizing wasted space and energy. It also represents divine order. Many interpret the ratio as evidence of a divine order in the universe, that there is a plan, there is a pattern, nothing is coincidence. It has metaphysical meaning. It is seen as a bridge between the physical and spirit realms, representing unity. And just some fun facts: Leonardo Fibonacci introduced the golden ratio to the West in 1202, and Leonardo da Vinci frequently used the golden ratio for composition and proportions in his artwork. And the golden ratio of 1.618 is considered truly special because it perfectly balances addition and multiplication. And next I'll talk about like quantum entanglement and string theory and things like that further connect us and tie us together. Okay, well, get to learning. I put the sources in the description. High five your friend.